This video shows you how to post the latest order of service on the Scottskirk website. Before you begin, you'll need at least two things, but let's just stick with two just now. One, you'll need a copy of the latest order of service, and I suggest keep it on your desktop. So in this example, the new order of service is the one for July the 9th, 2017. I also suggest before you get started, you need to be ready to log into Squarespace, which is the web editing tool that we use for updating the website. If you don't know how to do that, there's a separate video on the Scottskirk website that shows you how to log in for the first time. And once you've done that once, save it as a favourite, click on your favourite, and you get to here. So, assuming you're ready to go, let's get started. Paradoxically, although our goal here is to post the new order of service, the first thing we need to do is take care of last week's order of service. Now, if you're lucky, you've already got that in your mailbox somewhere, in which case you also need to have that on your desktop, because you'll have to post that on the website too. If you don't happen to have it in your mailbox, no problem, because you can download last week's from the website. And because Squarespace is quite a flexible tool and allows you to edit and view the website kind of separately, you can do that all from within Squarespace, and that's the way I'm going to do it today. It makes the video a little bit longer, a little bit complicated, more complicated, but it does actually show how things work a little bit better. So let's log into Squarespace simply by clicking, and it takes a moment or two to pop up. Amongst yourselves, and here we are. Oh dear, my internet is slow today. Here, fine, we're here now. And once you get in, you can see that the Squarespace interface looks very much like the Scottskirk website does. There are a few differences. When you move around in Squarespace, you see these little pop-up menus appear, and these allow you to edit things. There's also this thing at this kind of menu at the left hand side, which you don't need. If you want to use Squarespace simply to view the website, then you can click on this arrow in the top left hand corner, and you can see the website as it appears to all other users. Notice that you cannot edit it when you're in this mode though, so that's not very helpful to us when we want to post the order of service. So click again on the arrow, and we get back into a mode where the editing menus appear. And that's what we want to do first. First thing we want to do is download last week's order of service, just in case you don't have it in your mailbox somewhere. So the order of services are posted on Worship Orders of Service. And again, looks like everyone's on the internet at the moment. It seems very, very slow this morning, but finally we get in. And hopefully you're reasonably familiar with this page by now, and we scroll down and we see the previous orders of service down here. 25th of June is the last previous one. The new one is July the 9th, so obviously I need to get hold of July the 2nd, which at the moment is still the current order of service. Now, I don't want to edit anything here at the moment, I'm just viewing effectively. Notice when I've got the cursor in this part of the screen, which we'll be editing later, an edit option appears at the top. I don't want to edit yet, we'll do that later. And important, you can't change things or you can't do any harm, you can't affect anything until you've clicked the edit button. And once you're in there, you can't do any harm until you click the save button. So there's nothing to panic about if things go wrong, which I'm sure they won't. Anyway, my goal here is to download the previous order of service, and the place to do it is here where it says download the order of service. So I click on that, and again there'll be a short delay while it pops up on the screen. And we're looking for July the 2nd, and there it is. Now on my web browser, to download something on the screen, you simply move around and this little part appears at the bottom, and this is my download what's on the screen option, so I click on that. I really should have made this video when the internet was a bit quicker, but there it is. I've now got the 2nd of July order of service, last week's, and I've got the new one, 9th of July, on my desktop. So I want to go back into Squarespace, so click to go back one screen. However that works in your browser, they're all much the same. Again, a short delay. And we're back in here. So we now have last week's order of service, and I'll post that under previous orders of service later, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to post this week's here. We want to change this from what was the 2nd of July to what we want now, the 9th of July. Now, as I've said, I want to change something now, and that means I need to click on edit, and obviously depending where you are on the screen you get different edit options. Now the part I want to edit is this bit. Now you have to be quite careful, because if you scroll up to the top there's a different edit for the header and there's a different edit for the previous orders of service, but so long as you've got the cursor somewhere in here round about where it says download, then this is the edit button you want. That's the one to click. Notice it makes everything grey for the part that you're changing. Click on edit. It gets bigger so as you can see what you're doing. You lose the edit option and you now have a save option, so once you've changed something it will be saved. If you don't click on save and if you click outside the window, then nothing will be changed, so don't worry about making mistakes. You can only permanently affect something if you make a mistake and then click save, which you're unlikely to do. So part I want to change is this bit, and notice they show you these two little arrows that appear that show you what you're working on, and I want to, the whole thing, notice when you push the mouse over it, it changes colour. The whole thing wants to be clickable, so I need to drag the cursor across it to highlight the whole thing. So I start at the left hand side, press the mouse button, highlight the whole thing, and now I want to change the link, and the link is this little button here, edit link. So I click on that, and notice it tells me what's already linked, the 2nd of July. Well, I don't want that, so I'll click on remove. Now there's nothing linked to it. Click on it again, and now it's asking for me, well, what do you want to link to it? And of course what I want to link to it is the 9th of July. So what I do now is I click on files, and it says add a file, and the easiest way to do that is simply to drag and drop. So I drag the 9th of July across to the add a file field, let go. Takes a few moments to upload. Takes quite a few moments to upload, don't panic, it's a fairly big file, does take a little bit of time depending on how fast your internet connection is, and mine seems to be rather slow at the moment. Have faith, and here we are, uploaded July the 9th. Don't worry about the little menu changing, although it is simply telling you what's there. All we need to do now is save what we've done. Now if you look very carefully you can see the S of save here, but to make it more visible, we're finished with this menu now, so click somewhere outside it and then the save option is more obvious. Click on save and it's done. Now you may not be totally sure that you've done it, so if you want to check to be absolutely certain, now you're a user, you're not editing anymore, and notice that the edit option has reappeared. So let's click on it, and what should happen is when we go in here it should now say July the 9th instead of July the 2nd, and it does. And if I wanted to I could download, but obviously I don't need to do that since I have it on my desktop already. So that's it. The new order of service has been posted on the website. Problem we have now, or the one thing that we still have to deal with, is we've got the 9th of July here, we've got the 25th of June here, we don't have the 2nd of July anywhere, so we need to make a new entry here between this title and the current top of the list for the 2nd of July. And now that you're familiar with the previous process, it should be fairly straightforward. We don't want to edit this bit, we've done that. We want to edit this bit. Look for the edit option, the part that we're working on goes grey, click. Again, the screen gets big. Because we're now in editing mode, we have a save option. Until we save, nothing will be changed. And all we want to do basically is create a new line above the 25th of June. Now the easiest way I find to do this is to click, and then unfortunately it highlights the whole of the 25th of June, so you kind of need to click again on the other side and move back using the arrow keys. Maybe you can find a better way of doing this. I've now put the cursor just before the 25th of June and I hit carriage return, which gives me a new line. Click up arrow or use the mouse if you prefer, and now I can put in the date of the new one that I'm just about to post, which is the 2nd of July 2017. And now the process is exactly the same as we did before. I want to highlight the whole thing, use the mouse to do that, use the little link button. There's no file attached, of course, because I've only just created it. Click on Files, exactly as we did before. Add a file. We want to link the 2nd of July, so we drag it across, drop, and again it will take a moment or two to upload. Lovely weather we've been having lately. It's warm in this room because I've had to turn off the air cooler because I thought it would make some noise which would make my voice less easy to distinguish during the video. I wish I was a DJ and knew what to say to fill up empty space where nothing is happening. My internet connection really is very slow at the moment, but it will get there in the end. It does show you that you need to be patient here. Sometimes it takes a while. I have to say this is a record for how long I've seen it take. I've never known it to take this long, and I'm sure it's going to get there in the end. And since I've been recording this video for 10 minutes now or something, I'm not going to give up because I don't want to start again. Come on, boy. Hooray! Finally we get there. Confirmation July the 9th is at the top. And again, if you want to see the save option, and this time it's completely vanished behind this little window here, click outside the window, it goes away, the save option appears, click on save, and we go back out of edit mode. And if we want to check to be absolutely sure that we've saved it, click on 2nd of July 2017. And there it is. So that's all that needs to happen each week. As you can see, the thing that takes the longest is the actual uploading part. Once you've done it a couple of times, it goes through very, very quickly indeed. And that's it. You don't need to log out or anything like that. I usually just quit the window or quit the tab. That's all that's necessary. Good luck with that. Have fun. Get back to me if you have any questions.